I had been working my whole life. And what I didn't understand, by being determined to chase something, by being committed to it, and what commitment is staying true to what you said you were going to do long after the mood that you have set it in has left. You see, people think commitment is saying, yes, I'll do it on the days when it feels good. But I have been committed to everything that I ever started in my life, and I never stopped and I never quit it. And so by being committed to everything that I started, I finished it. It built a certain type of spirit. It built a certain type of mentality. It built a certain type of individual. And so now I couldn't quit even if I wanted to. I couldn't lay in the bed even if I wanted to. I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. I had too much sweat equity in my life and everything that I was doing. Because I understood my existence wasn't about me. I went from me to we a long time ago. I understood the process is more important than the product. It wasn't about the outcome for me. Whether I made it to the NFL or not, that was inconsequential in God's plan for my life. But I was going to fall in love with that process, because I understood by falling in love with that process, it was going to turn me into a machine. You see, a lot of people need things to get motivated. A lot of people need a little extra money to get motivated. A lot of people need, whatever the case may be, a little bonus to get motivated. I don't need anything but breath in my body and life. And every day I wake up, I understand I got 2 children depending on me. I understand I got a wife depending on me. I understand I got a world that needs me. The reason I go at life with the passion and the zeal that I go at it with is because I understand every day of my life is somebody in the world that is dependent on me. It may not be you, and if it's just about you, you're in trouble, because I'm telling you, you're going to hit something in life that's a lot tougher than you, and it's going to test your will, and it's going to test your heart. And if it's just about you, and if it's just about the product, it will crush you. Every day I get up, I understand it's somebody in the free world that's looking at me to see if I'm going to keep going, and so I can't quit. And so I went back to school the next week after they had just saved my life. I was back in class. I had to learn how to write all over again. I had to learn how to walk all over again. I had to learn how to tie my shoe all over again. I had to learn how to bathe all over again. I had to learn how to live life all over again. And never one time did I say, let me go home, I need a break. Never one time did I go into the training room and said, I need some time off. Can you all just give me a little leave time? I need to go back home. I need some time off. My life just changed last week. And they came to me and they said, Inky, go home. We know how much the game of football meant to you. I said, yeah, you know how much the game of football meant to me, but you don't know how much life means to me. You see, the thing we have to understand about everything that we're a part of, first and foremost, it's a blessing by God. And when it's a blessing, you can't help but to give everything you got to it. My life got saved. I got spared my life. I almost died. The doctor came to me on the field. He was on one knee and he grabbed my wrist and he said, son, you don't have a pulse. I don't even know how you're still living. And my last doctor visit, they came to me and they said, sorry, Inky Johnson, you will never be able to use this arm or hand again in your life. I said, no disrespect to you, doc, but I will use this arm and this hand every day for the rest of my life by the way that I live my life. Every day I'm going to impact someone's life. Every day I'm going to empower someone. Every day I'm going to inspire someone. Every day I'm going to encourage someone.
If things go wrong, they always seem to happen at once, and they just compound on top of each other. And it's pretty easy sometimes to feel beaten when you're faced with all those issues and all those problems, and they all hit you at the same time. But let me tell you, that doesn't mean give up. In fact, it means the opposite. It means it's time for you to fight harder, to dig in. It means it's time for you to go on the warpath. And that starts with one of the fundamental laws of combat leadership: prioritize and execute. What's the biggest problem? What's causing the most stress? Family? Okay. Sit them down. Explain where you are at. Be blunt. Be upfront. And then give them the simple plan of how you're going to get things back on track. Don't sugarcoat it. You give it to them straight. Next, you got some late payments. Call those creditors up. Explain to them what's going on. Set up some kind of a minimum payment plan so you can start making some progress and get them off your back. And then you got your job. Right? You're falling behind at work. Okay, talk to your boss. face it. Tell him that you're going to step up your game. Tell him you're going to be at work early, you're going to be at work late, you're going to be at work during lunch, you're going to be wherever you need to be whenever he needs you to be there. Tell him you're going to get after it. And tell him that you're 100% committed to supporting him and the company and the mission. And then you get started. And I'm going to tell you right now, it won't be easy. It will be hard because life is hard. That's what life is. And these challenges that you face, they're going to do their best to take you down. Do not let them. Stand up, dig in. Line up those problems and confront them, face them, fight them.
You guys got to remember, dude, a lot of the people growing up, they've got zero leadership in their life.
Yeah.
Zero. A lot of people grow up in a scenario where they feel like they're a nuisance, like they're not even wanted. They're not told they could be anything great. They don't know anybody great. They don't know anybody who's successful. They don't know anybody who's accomplished amazing things. And it's very hard to see that in yourself if you don't know a single other person, right? And that's where the lack of hope comes in, is that when you can't literally see something or have a conversation. And then on top of that, when you do, it's so rare to see that you feel like it is some sort of crazy magical thing that you don't possess inside. And this is the thing that I love about what you speak about. And honestly, this is why I started the MFCEO project in 2015. Because, dude, every single successful guy I know, which there's a bunch of them, they're all normal. They got normal, dude, they fucking struggle, man. Shit's hard. Like, it's just, they have bought into the idea that they don't require some sort of special superpower. And what ends up happening is, because you don't quit, you end up developing some superpowers. Every single day of my entire life right now, and for the last, I don't know how many years, as long as I can remember back, I wake up and I'm nervous and I'm scared and I'm like, fuck, all right, what do I got to handle today? And you know what I do? I wake up and I go handle it. You guys have to understand, this is human. This is a human thing. And when you look at someone and you say that man or that woman has something that I don't have, you're telling yourself a justification as to why you can't do it. You're talking yourself out of it. And what you need to realize is that they didn't have that ability either. Nobody woke up with that shit. They got it from showing up every day and executing over and over and over. And especially when they don't feel like it. And a lot of people listening right now, they're probably like, well, I never feel like going to work. Okay, fair enough. You get up every day. You don't feel like going to work. You think you're giving yourself, this credit. All right. What do you do when you're at work? How well do you execute? What are you actually a contributing member to the team, or are you just taking up space? Because there's more to it than just showing up. It's showing up and then diligently being good at what you do. Okay. So like a lot of people talk about motivation, or they talk about discipline. No one talks about diligence, right? Diligence is showing up and executing at a high level.
Amen, brother.
And that's the third part of the equation. We move from motivation, which is, we kind of do shit when we feel like it or when we don't feel like it, to discipline, which is, I do the things that I need to do even when I don't feel like doing them, all right, because my discipline is strong. And then we move into diligence, which diligence is I do what I don't feel like doing very fucking well all the time. And this is the three parts of achievement that you have to move through as a human, all right? So we talk a lot about discipline here, but that's because a lot of you guys ain't ready for diligence yet. You know what I'm saying? But think about that. Think about that, okay? You get up every day. You don't like your job. You're going against the grain. You got a lot of work to do. Are you going through the motions? Because that is better than the guy that doesn't show up, but it's still not going to get you to where you want to go.
Anywhere. That's it, brother.
So, and that's, those are some things to think about.
I believe that leadership is really a skill of influence. It is the most important skill that any human being can master. And I don't think of leadership as a position. I see it as a skill, a tool that all of us have to have. In other words, the quality of your life, I really believe, comes down to your level of leadership. Other people don't have to follow you to be a leader, but you have to live life on your terms. And the first person you have to influence is yourself. Whether you're fit or fat, whether your kids are, on drugs or not, is who has more influence, the guy on the street corner or you. Whether you're fit or fat is, can you influence your own hands, your own body, your own mind to do what's necessary? So I think to be able to influence the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, and the actions of another human being, that's what leadership is. And quality leadership, obviously authentic leadership, is one where it's servant leadership. You're looking to influence those thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions for a greater good, not just for yourself. And I think the people that master that are the people that you know about. I mean, they're the captains of industry. They're people that are celebrities because they've learned how to influence people. They are some of the greatest teachers, some of the greatest scientists, because you can't just come up with ideas. Ideas will die on your lips unless you become a person of influence, and that's what leadership is. Well, first of all, if you look at a business, the chokehold on the growth of any business is always the psychology and the skill set of the leader. And it's 80% psychology and 20% mechanics, meaning so many small businesses, the owner might be an incredible innovator. Maybe they write incredible code. Maybe they're a tremendous influencer, but they don't know the economic side of their business, right? And they find themselves getting in trouble because somebody's giving them financial information after the fact. They don't have true financial intelligence to make decisions, and they get caught up. I'll pick my own examples. I had several companies early in my career that were near bankruptcy because I would sit down and I knew how to produce products that would change people's lives. I knew how to market. I knew how to build teams of people, but what I didn't know was finance. So I'd look and say, okay, how are we doing? I go, you got a great, you got a 20% profit. You got $2 million in profit in those days, little tiny company. And I come to the end of the year, there was no cash, right? I didn't know that profit is a theory, right? And so just not having that skill, or someone might be really great in finance, but they're not any good in marketing. So sometimes it's a skill problem, but 80% of it, you can solve those skills. You can get those skills if you can change your psychology. But when you accept that, oh my God, the market's down, or oh my God, the economy in our area is down, when you allow the environment to control your psychology, you're not going to win. There's an interesting guy named Mel Fisher that you may remember from back in the 90s. He was, if the name lingers in your mind, he was a guy that spent, I think it was 27 years, if I remember correctly, looking for this Spanish galleon that was supposed to be filled with gold. You remember that?
Yes, of course.
And he found it after 27 years. Now, here's my question for you, Jim.
Yeah.
5 years into it, you've worked every day for 5 years, and you found nothing. What are you going to do? And how are you going to raise more money because you have run out of money? 10 years into it, 15 years into it, 20 years into it. So I say to people in business, I say to them, you want to understand psychology? Here's the biggest challenge for most businesses. They think they've maxed what's possible because they think they've tried everything. Once you believe that, your belief controls you and you miss the innovations, you miss the answers. This guy found that gold because he had 3 beliefs. First belief was there's a treasure out there, and he was certain it was out there, even though he didn't have any absolute evidence. And that certainty drove him. But if you knew there was treasure in your business, that's not enough. You got to also believe I will find it. And you also have to believe it's worth it, right? And without those 3 beliefs, he never would have found it. And so changing the psychology of the leader is what will change a business faster than anything else. Changing their skills will also do it. But lots of people have the skill and they don't execute. And you and I both know, execution is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is trumped by execution every single day. And that execution comes by changing the psychology.